So traditionally we start with introducing yourself, and also getting understanding about your professional experience and CV. So maybe you can introduce yourself. What's been your academic background and how did you come to the idea of KALVE Coffee?
Yeah, my name is Gatis Zemanis. I'm co-founder of KALVE Coffee, and I was the initiative of idea that we need to open our own coffee roastery. And my academic background is that I have studied in 3 universities in Latvia, but didn't finish that. And because I had quite tough childhood, if you may say, and I had to provide myself with all the things I need, So that's why I was more into earning some money, not to studying. And I'm more like adversary of concept that learning by doing. And for example, the IPO process for me, especially, it was I think as a master degrees in finance, So I think all life is about the studying and improve yourself and work on your weaknesses and strengths and etc. My professional background is that I'm in coffee industry as professional since 2011, and we found KALVE Coffee actually like 6 years ago in February of 2019. Before that, I was working in one quite big Baltic company, which working with coffee and coffee service as well. Then I left the company with no idea to do something in the same work of field, but then I really love coffee. I love people who are working in coffee, especially in specialty coffee scene. So we saw that with my friend and co-founder of KALVE Coffee, we saw that there's quite huge gap between commercial coffee and specialty coffee, and we had the idea, okay, let's try it. We like it, and we just had the idea. We had a little bit of money and the idea to do our thing, what we love. This.
So probably making coffee, it's almost like science or art. And today we had really brilliant cup of cappuccino. So maybe you can tell us what's your, let's say, perception of what's the ideal process or recipe of making coffee?
I think I want to start with that I don't want to teach people how to drink the coffee, I think the best coffee is the coffee what you like. And our way is to make coffee in a sustainable practice. It means that from our actions in a business in KALVE Coffee, beneficial should be not only like shareholders but actually all stakeholders. Mm-hmm. And this is the idea and this is the perfect cup of coffee, so that everybody is benefiting from our action in all coffee chain. And in the end, we have to understand what we want to reach, what kind of taste profile in the coffee, and then we have to deliver it.
Okay. So when you started your business, probably you had some idea in mind. So did you steal it from Starbucks or some other famous chain, or at least did you learn from their mistakes, creating your own dream about KALVE Coffee?
It's there's no specific like learning lesson, but actually what we saw the opportunity, and actually we are, coffee is huge commodity. At the moment, data shows that around 90% of adults in the world drinks coffee, and it means that it's huge business, and that's why coffee is traded in stock markets and etc. And we saw the potential of specialty coffee, and we are lucky to be in the time when coffee culture and market is changing. And if we take a look on global coffee scene, then if we compare commercial coffee and specialty coffee, the prediction till CAGR till 2030 in specialty coffee in Europe is around 15 to 20%. With commercial coffee, it's only like 2 to 3%. Mm-hmm. And we saw the opportunity that we are in the perfect position to develop our own brand, our roastery, and to take the best parts of specialty coffee and the commercial coffee and combine it. And we understood that old companies, old brands, like Italian brands, they cannot give the emotional and physical product which these days customers are looking for, because they have wanted this the brand that it's historical. They have kind of old hardwares and softwares in productions, etc. So when this was our time to do something.
So maybe let's take one step back and can you explain in like briefly what's the difference between regular coffee, specialty coffee, because I think not all consumers are aware about the differences.
Yes, thank you for the question. It's important to make it clear what is what. As I mentioned before, the coffee is traded in the stock market. For Arabica beans, it's happening in New York. For Robusta in London. And usually, for example, Brazil is the biggest producer in the world. They produce around 35% of overall world production. And if I am farmer in Brazil, I have two options. I can harvest my coffee and like put it in the stock market. For example, the prices in last years like skyrocketing. And for example, if at the moment the price for green coffee, which is like really bad quality in the stock market, is like €9, it means that as a farmer, I put my harvested coffee in a big bag where everybody is doing that, and I get him something around like €5 per kg. And then specialty coffee. And for commercial coffee, there's actually, for me and for you as an end customer, there is no you don't see the process. You don't know who is a farmer, what is variety, what is the geographical conditions where coffee was grown, and it influences actually the taste. And then I have another option. If I'm a farmer who is dedicated to do all processes in sustainable way, I harvest high quality coffee, and of course I will find coffee roasters as KALVE Coffee to whom work directly, and KALVE Coffee is ready to pay depending on the quality of the coffee, like taste quality. They are ready to pay not like stock price, but stock price plus something. And usually in direct trade principle, as we were working in specialty coffee, farmers get 2 to 4 times more money for the coffee, and this is the honest way. So basically, commercial coffee is not transferable. You get low quality, and the farmers are not beneficial. In specialty coffee, you have full transparency, you have high quality of the cup, and you have a sustainable practice behind the operations in the farm.
Okay, it sounds really great. So it's pretty much like wheat, which we are using for bread production. You can buy it from biological farms, and you can buy it on the stock exchange.
Yeah, principle the same.
So I'm quite curious, how do you do these taste tests? I assume you have to travel, meet every farmer, I don't know, have your mobile roastery with you. How it works?
Like yearly, we are working only with the fresh crop coffees. And of course, yearly we have something around like 10 different regions we are working with. But of course, it's not sustainable to travel to all the places. For example, in Africa region, you have Rwanda, Ethiopia, Kenya, Burundi, Tanzania. Then in Central America, you have all the Central Americans. Then you have South America continent. It's not sustainable to travel that. So mainly we are working with cooperative in Brazil. And Brazil can deliver us. They can pack container of all kind of different taste profiles on coffees. So, and from different regions, actually we get by shipping just samples, we roast it here, and that's how we deal with that.
Okay.
But yeah, regarding the taste, there's specific knowledge and the system how to evaluate the taste, and actually it's not a subjective thing, it's objective, but subjective is our experience.
So I understand that you said you have 6 coffee shops around Riga right now, yes?
We have 5, but we will open in a few after 1 month, sixth one. Yeah. Then we have one coffee shop in Germany. We opened together with the partners there in Düsseldorf, just to get the idea how our concept works in different market.
So basically, that's most likely the first touch point when you collect feedback from customers. Do they like your coffee or not?
Yeah, you know what's funny thing is that in this when we start the company, we knew that we will not do all kind of focus groups, you know, to understand what people like and don't like, because interesting thing is regarding the taste. If we give people the same cup, one will tell that, oh, this is bitter, another will tell this is sour. You know, it means that the coffee drinkers, they are not calibrated. They have different experience, and this is the problem why we have not trusted the focus groups. Okay. Of course, we have to measure somehow how to do that, but the idea is that we just had to understand what are people looking in the taste-wise in the cup. So, and I think we understood what is that, and that's why overall our coffee, like more or less people like our coffee.
So how does the average your customer looks like? So you have really a lot of different varieties. Are they educated enough to be able to choose, or are they just aware about the taste? So maybe you can give us a feeling, and also the sustainability element in the equation. Do people care about this? How much? How do you feel it?
Regarding our client, you know, before we developed the company, we found what are the values we are standing for, and we have 6 values, and one of the main values is accessibility, and it means that taste-wise we are like our coffee shops and shop is open to all kind of experiences, and there is none like demographical filter that I cannot tell that our customer is male, 35 years old, with incomes that and that. So actually it's quite wide. So we have to be open-minded. We have to be accessible to all kind of experience. So regarding education, of course, people learn more and more about coffee, not only the taste-wise, but they are looking for all kind of sustainable practices as well. And what's interesting for us is that you see these things, yes? We have, when we found the company, one of the main value was not only accessibility, but sustainability. And then we had the same question, okay, how we can measure, is it important to our customers? And we find the way how to measure that. And we have this unique packaging with a tin. And actually it's like simple principle, like zero waste. You buy a chocolate bar blend for 10 euros with a tin, then you come back and refill it, and you pay only 8 euros. And and at the moment in our coffee shops, which are not selling only the drinks but the coffee beans as well, we are selling around 60% without packaging. So last year we sold around 25,000 kgs without package. And actually, this is the answer to your question, that people are ready to change the habits in order to be more influential on the sustainable principles.
But you are active also in B2B segment. So how does this work? Are your business customers also aware about the sustainability element, or are they just interested in the taste?
I think it depends of specific client, but overall they are interested in, and our main task is to give not only kind of emotional thing about sustainability, but some practical thing as well. Again, the packaging, you know, we deliver to our B2B clients, we deliver again without packaging, like deposit baskets, and of course idea is nice, but we will give some extra. It's not discount, but you are not actually paying for the packaging. It means that you get something around 5% cheaper coffee if it's like packaging in a single kg package. So
you mentioned before that the kind of specialty coffee process is fully transparent. So what are the key sustainability elements in the production process of coffee itself? So
you mean in the farm?
Yeah, for instance.
There's like 3 main things. you can call it a three-piece: people, process, planet. Regarding planet, of course, we are looking for the partners which practice are sustainable in long term regarding the nature or the planet. So it means that we are looking for the practices where it's less used of all kind of chemicals, for example. We are looking for the partners, coffee farms who are doing some things in order to increase biodiversity. Then the second piece, people. We are looking for the partners who are treating people and people who work in the farms in proper way. And then of course the process, how the company is managed, government and etc. Is all the process transparent? Can we get all kind of policies for the farmer, how they treat I don't know, water, like employees and etc. So these are three main principles we are looking for in the partners across the ocean. Yeah.
Nice. So talking about KALVE Coffee, I understand you're fully sustainable in sourcing coffee and producing. How do you ensure that your employees also practice sustainability in their daily duties?
It's a good question. I don't know. Actually, I haven't thought about that because we hadn't problems with that. And I think it's because when we start the company, all our actions are based on values. And all of these sustainability practices and manifestation of our values is not only written on the paper somewhere hidden in some kind of presentation, but we do not talk about them, but we work with them. So all these values should be implemented in our actions. And then these values are felt by not only employees, but from a side of customers as well. And I think this is the answer. So if management team are working in order to reach these values, so everybody will follow. I think this is the answer. So.
You mentioned before that actually the coffee industry is, first of all, it's quite old. Probably it's also quite saturated with big brands, and the specialty coffee market is growing. So what's your guess? Why is it so that the specialty coffee segment is growing more than the rest?
I think there are two main things. One thing is the taste, so that people are looking for better taste. You can compare it with the wine. Yeah. I just remember my first time when I had the contact with wine. I remember all these sweet wines, these all kind of Georgian and etc. And in that time, I couldn't evaluate some Pinot Noir or whatever, And at the moment, it's opposite. And the same with the coffee, When you try something good, there's no way back. And the second thing is all these added values, which is sustainability. The coffee in our coffee shop, it's not only about coffee, it's about lifestyle. It's about me as a customer with small action, I can do something good for the community, for the planet, and etc. And these old companies with old traditions, with old manufacturers, it's hard to do that for them. That's why we see that in the world market, what's happening, there's consolidation, that all kind of, for example, Nescafe, which is one of the biggest coffee companies in the world, working with only commercial coffee, with the low grade, cheap coffee, they cannot change to the specialty coffee. So what they are doing, they are buying specialty coffee producers. So.
Okay. If we talk about sustainability, we should not kind of forget about greenwashing as a general problem. So do you see a lot of greenwashing in this pretty saturated coffee market from other market players?
Actually, not specific in coffee industry, because coffee industry is already quite sustainable. if you compare it with chocolate, for example, yeah, the chocolate, there's like huge problems with child labor in Africa, etc. So you cannot see that in coffee industry. Regarding like greenwashing overall, of course, there's a lot of things, and I'm hope that Latvia and Baltic states as well one day will come to the point when you will, as a entity, you will have responsibility against the law that you cannot do that. So you have these laws already in the UK, I think, in the Netherlands.
So you are still a rather small company. Are you working on sustainability strategy on a wider scale or not yet?
Yes, of course, we are doing that. And the thing is for us that, usually there's like concept of idea that if you grow, usually you will produce, your impact will be worse, And in our case, actually, it's opposite. So if we grow, our impact is bigger and better. So because we don't have to change our way how we are working, we can do the same practices and scale it.
If you look on the stock exchange, so basically cocoa is already at the top levels. Everybody's talking about chocolate as becoming luxury. So coffee beans are also very close to their top prices. So should we expect that actually coffee will become more and more expensive because of various regulations in this segment?
I think the regulations is not the biggest risk regarding the stock price and the green coffee price overall. The biggest risks are climate change, and of course in 2024 the green coffee price go up around like 90%. It's quite big, but in the end the end user will get around like 10 to maximum 20% increase of the coffee cup. So it's not so big change. I have mixed feelings regarding the coffee price. It's really good because I think that coffee producers now can get a little bit more money because especially in Brazil and Vietnam, which are the biggest producers, they have last two harvests was quite low harvest, so they can get more money to invest in the production as well. So this is a good thing. And of course, from as a coffee roaster and green coffee buyer, it's not the good thing, because we have to increase the prices. But it's the market, it's always up and down, up and down. So I think that in some time the coffee price maybe it's not gonna go lower, but it's gonna be like stable.
So from what you are saying and your experience, so what's your best guess? What the average Baltic inhabitant and consumer is ready to pay for a good cup of coffee?
It's hard to say, there's different concepts of coffee. You can go to vending machines when they're like paying €1.50 and they think it's like expensive. And then you can go to KALVE coffee shop and pay for cappuccino $3.50 and they are satisfied with the deal, So it's hard to say. Of course, there are kind of lines. Of course, we as a coffee drink seller and coffee seller, we have to find the solutions to make it more sustainable in the like price as well. So we are looking for these things, but we have to take a look on the reality where it goes, and of course, if I don't believe that price will go as high that people cannot afford the coffee, because coffee is such a huge part of our culture and daily routine. So
in this coffee industry, do you feel like economic cycles and people earn less, they spend less on coffee, or this industry is free of those volatility elements?
It's not free, but of course we as a company we have to find and offer all kind of emotional benefits, and not only emotional but financial as well. And we as a KALVE Coffee, we from 2019 to 2023 CAGR was 63%, and despite that in 2019 was COVID crisis, which was actually quite brutal for our industry. Then we have increased all the energy and logistics. So, and we find a way to offer something extra to our clients, and that's how we can like manage the increase.
So you earlier today mentioned that you also did an IPO. So what was the reasoning behind the IPO?
Yes, we did an IPO in December of 2024, last year. We did quite successfully, despite that we are a small company. We had small IPO, despite that everybody's saying that capital market is quite bad because of all kind of these economics and geopolitics, etc. And again, all the actions we are doing in the company should go through this value filter. And again, one of our main values is accessibility. And with this move, we wanted to be more accessible to our colleagues, to our clients. And this was the first reason. The second reason, of course, we want to, next to B Corp certification, we want one more, like approval of the market that we do our business in the good practice way. And with this step, I believe we can find the best talents to work in KALVE Coffee. And of course, we needed like somehow the balance the capital structure in the company, and we want to grow outside of the Baltic states as well. So we need some money, and from our point of view, First North was the best scenario.
So probably for other entrepreneurs, it's quite interesting to understand. So is this 1.2 million that you raised on the stock exchange a lot? Was it hard? So maybe you can share some key highlights from this process and takeaways for others.
Yeah, we understood that this for us it's small amount to raise, but for us it was like first step to grow as a company. And was it hard? Yes and no. It wasn't so hard because we are ready for that. First of all, our mindset, we are willing to do that, to open the company doors to everyone. And yeah, I recommend new companies to do that and go and to have the option to go in First North, because you get a lot of benefits of that. So it's not only like reputation, it's not only money. You are it's marketing as well. If you are in the First North, it means that you have quite high standards of governance. So yeah, it was challenging, but we did it quite smoothly, and we had a really good consulting team. And I think this is really important, that you are not you're not alone in this journey. So yeah.
You mentioned also the B Corp certification.
Yeah.
Did it play any role? So what does it mean? I think probably nobody has really heard about it.
Yeah, B Corp certification, from my perspective, it's the best sustainability certification, because if you compare it with Rainforest Alliance or Fair Trade, to get these certification, actually more or less you have to pay the money. You have to become a member by the paying. In B Corp, it's a little bit different story. You have to answer around 300 questions, and you have to prove all the points. And B Corp helped us to organize company in the way that I mentioned before, that our actions are beneficial to all stakeholders, not only shareholders. And I think it was quite important role in our IPO process, not only in our IPO process, but in our company as well. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.